Hello all, Rick here with a quick video explaining the Supervisors from Star Trek, which appeared in both the original series and Picard. Spoilers ahead, and I will be using apocryphal content to expound upon the lore as has been depicted in the past as well as now. In essence, there was an enigmatic species who termed themselves the Aegis to reflect their self-appointed role of overseeing and maintaining a timeline free of interference so that it may travel upon the correct path as they see it. They accomplished this by recruiting, or frankly abducting, pools of individuals from numerous planets, and then using them to create genetically superior examples of that species. They would then train the offspring as agents, called Supervisors, and outfit them with the technology of the Aegis and plant them back on their ancestors' planet of origin with a mission or goal to protect certain aspects of the timeline. Now, it's not as ethically questionable as it sounds, because their ultimate goal was to protect time from massive alteration. They only stole away individuals that were about to die so as to minimise any impact, and for the most part were a force for good. The Aegis themselves were non-humanoid, but shapeshifters capable of adopting a myriad of forms, so it's unclear what their actual form is. The homeworld was 50,000 light years away from Earth and under an advanced cloaking field, while they observed the timelines for potential disasters and dispatched one of their horde of agents to various points in time to protect the flow of events, via super long-range transporters. It was unknown for how long they had been observing Earth, but the Enterprise NCC 1701 encountered one known agent of the Aegis in 1968, one Gary 7. Gary was a genetic descendant of humans that were abducted around 4000 BC, so clearly they've been at this for some time and Earth is only one planet among their wards. In this fashion, they serve a similar role as to the temporal agents of the 31st century such as Daniels, and considering that their goals of maintaining the timeline align, it's possible that the two powers share a cooperative relationship, although that is speculation. It seems that their chief antagonist might actually be a faction of their own species, known as Counter-Strike, who aim to alter events to their own benefit, and all this is sounding rather like a temporal Cold War. As such, they had a strict code of operations to follow, similar to the Temporal Prime Directive, in that unless their charge or mission was in danger of being altered, they were not to interfere and remain isolated and incognito as much as possible. It's important to note, however, that they are not a Federation entity and would just as easily oppose them if their protocol demanded it. Known agents of this organisation are the aforementioned Gary 7, who was tasked with preventing an atomic missile launch that should not happen. He was sent as a replacement as the two previous embedded human agents were killed in a car accident that year. They were Ryan Vitale and Elizabeth Anderson, and in 1952 there was Ian Pendleton and Cynthia Foster. In more tales concerning Aegis, we also see Gary 7's receptionist eventually become recruited as a supervisor, having already been exposed to Gary's work, and even Rain Robinson returns in a book tracking down the operative and joining their ranks too. There is also Ixana, Chopay, Evad and Koob. On other worlds, we have mentions of Septos, a Romulan who was embedded on both Romulus and Vulcan, and Rondel 8 and Cyril 9, Cardassians in 2375. Recently, we've also been introduced to the 2024 agent, Talon. As mentioned, these agents were genetically superior to humans, therefore augments, and equipped with technology far beyond the era in which they operated. Gary easily had a 1000-year lifespan, while Talon seemed to be able to psychically possess people. However, the latter may be a result of technology, or perhaps the fruition of carefully cultivating the latent aspirating in humans. Alongside the standard equipment you may expect, such as observation devices, hacking gear and a myriad of devices built for subterfuge, most Supervisors also possessed some form of teleportation device for fast travel and communications connections to the Aegis for continual instruction. They often operated in pairs, either as a couple of agents or as a single supervisor and a shape-shifting companion. These companions sort of act like familiars to the agent and are capable agents in their own right, but the extent of their operational powers is unknown, only ever being witnessed in support roles. Occasionally, they have partnered up with temporary allies not native to their era of operation, especially when time travel is involved, but they generally just keep tabs on any off-world visitors their planet may receive for the potential contamination to the timeline it may cause should their technology or presence be noted. In extreme cases, they've even partnered up with local agencies and organisations, but in these instances, they are vague on their origin, powers and abilities, and presumably act to cover up any evidence left by their influence. In essence, the Supervisors were wardens sent to protect the timeline and more esoteric destinies of individuals, or preserve events, all in the hopes that history would unfold as it should. They were the temporal agency before it existed in the canon, and presumably still operates to preserve and protect alongside such Starfleet divisions in the far future. I would be curious to get clarification on where they stood in the temporal Cold War, but if their mission statement remains unchanged from their Federation encounters, then I suspect they stood with the Temporal Accords, enforcing mitigated influences. Thanks for watching this video on the Supervisors and Agents, also known as Aegis in the extra lore. I've been Rick, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.